A question came to my mind this morning, and I asked myself this question, and I ask you this question now. Who do you listen to? In our society, in these United States of America, there are many voices that ring out. We are bombarded by voices, talking heads. And so who do you listen to? Maybe the first question I should ask is, who do you hear? At our church, Brian Counts is the preacher right now. And so I hear him at 9 o'clock. I'll invite you to Village 7 Presbyterian Church and come and hear with me as Brian Counts preaches. I think it's from the book of Ephesians today. We're not quite through it yet. But the question comes, once we do the hearing, and I'm one of those people that take notes, so I write things down, things that he says. But will I listen? Now the answer should be yes. And how am I going to find myself listening to him? Well, if I pray for him, asking God to give him insight into his word, as I pray for him, asking God to fill him with his spirit, be the God of all peace and comfort to him in the challenges that he's confronted with in preaching to us. So how about you? Who will you listen to today? The first one I heard this morning was my wife. So the second one I hear will possibly be my daughter. And then I invite you to join me with a live stream from Cleveland, Ohio, Parkside Church, the preaching of Alistair Begg. I'll hear his voice. If he's preaching today, I'm not sure. But will I listen? There was a song by somebody one time. Who was it? Some of you'll know it. Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Daylight savings time is off, and so we gained an hour of sleep last night. I always enjoy that. Time. Do we know what time it is? Do we care? Hearing, listening. Who are we listening to? Do we care? If you turn on televisions, radios, there's thousands upon thousands of voices that are speaking out for our attention. And I encourage you to read the Word of God and listen with your heart and your minds to what God has to say to us. Find yourselves every day in the Psalms that you might glorify the Lord our God. Find yourself in the Proverbs that you might listen to wisdom. And then pray that God will lead you to someone every day that might hear your voice. Might be a phone call, might be person to person, somebody you run into, and they'll hear you. So be sure and have something to say that they might listen to you. Many voices. May we hear from God himself today.